To this day.
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 Bring back one.
Only bring back one. I'm bringing back goddamn gas price. No, I'm bringing back. Roll it back like Walmart.
No, for real.
Is that China buffet?
Yeah. That's what I was about to say the buffet.
All
I
you
was about
can
to say
eat.
the buffet, but I didn't see $0.04
But they still got them all you can eat joint, but just not like that. But I go with the gas.
Also, the apartment.
Roll them gas back, man.
Yeah, but the gas would be good.
Yeah, the gas is good.
Living, I'm good. We good.
I remember that all you can eat buffet. You can eat whatever for $20.
I'm telling
you,
you.
going crazy.
Right.
Man, come out that thing farting and everything.
Something churning.
I ain't lying. Can't wait to go home.
You can only bring back one.
And there was a questionnaire by Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and I guess his new girl. She's sitting on his lap, so I guess that would be an assumption to assume. But yeah, I mean, I think one was $1,000 car, $500 apartment a month, gas prices, and China buffet. You know, actually, I remember China buffet. You know what? You can keep that shit. Keep China buffet. Now, $1,000 car. I remember that. I mean, my first car my mom ever bought me was $1,000. Gas prices. I think it depends because that's all relative. Why? Because shit, in the 80s, they were a totally different price from the 90s. Okay, now, to be fair, the 80s and the 90s shared this in common. They weren't just off the chain, but then if you go back far enough, people can remember when they were a lot cheaper than they were in the 80s and the 90s. So, you know, I think now they just quadruple, which is stupid, I do think. So, yeah, A, I think would win. Either A or the $1,000 car. Because, you know, I got a hustler's mentality, you know, so I could take if I had if you could buy a car for $1,000 and it can last you at least 30,000 miles or so, right? Before it just, right, gives out an engine and transmission falls out the bottom of it. What I would do, hell, I would make taxis out of them or something, you know what I mean? Or Ubers and have people driving them and then paying me a certain amount before they give out, right? And then, you know, the money that you've made over that is a lot more than 1,000. How many times can you multiply or double your money, you know? How many times over can you make $1,000 with that car that you spent $1,000 on? So yeah, but gas prices definitely were the bitch of the bunch. I'm such a sucker though for like nostalgic channels. If you guys seen them, they got that little crazy music, do 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 do, you know, and you're looking at stuff from a long time ago, and it makes you think like, oh God, I remember that. You know what I mean? Just like nostalgia hits you, you know, it's a good thing to do. And I'm a sucker for those, bro. Every one I'm like, follow, subscribe, like, right? So yeah, I do miss gas prices being cheap. Dude, I remember I used to deliver pizzas when I was like my early 20s, right? And I could take $5 and get like 5.4 gallons of gas. So you're getting over, because it was like 97 cents, 98 cents a gallon. So shit, man, I would get $5, here's my 5, and run a whole shift from that shit, with that shit. And make about, you know, needless to say, you know, this was 2000, 2001, right? I could make 35, 40, 50 bucks. You know what I mean? Some nights. But keep in mind, this is the early 2000s, so you had money. Money didn't, you know, you could get beers, cigarettes, and all kind of stuff for cheap. $1 24-ounce beers and $1 Whopper Juniors, double cheeseburgers, $1.99. That shit was cheap back then. You could do that and still had a lot of money left over. So yeah, I do miss those times that I grew up in. But as far as Deontay Wilder goes, let's talk about him for a minute since this is a boxing channel. Deontay Wilder, if that's his new girl, I hope he's happy. You know what I mean? Because I think a happy fighter is a good fighter, you know, because, you know, we know he's just been through the ringer, and now, you know, Taylor Swift is gone, she's gone, and with a win, you know what I mean? So yeah, so she's a forgotten item, but she made her splash in the life of Deontay Wilder, and it wasn't all, you know, peaches and roses. And I think a lot of that came from his mental, you know, downfall and stuff like that. And I think, you know, hopefully this one doesn't put him in a situation where he can't concentrate on knocking somebody's head off in the ring, because he's going to need everything intact, because what we're seeing, you know, if you minus Tyrell Herndon, all of those guys that he fought that he lost by were all on the level. And that's what the money is going to expect from him. If he's going to fight in Vegas or Saudi Arabia or the UK, he's going to fight somebody that can take his head off. So he's going to have to be at himself, because the competition is a lot stiffer. So he's going to need somebody in his corner that keeps him mentally focused on the task at hand, instead of what she's doing behind my back when I'm not there type shit, where he was worried about before with the last one, right? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Deontay Wilder hilariously answering a questionnaire of yesteryear. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.